All right, we'll get started in the interest of time. Appreciate everyone for being here today on this Leap Day, February 29th. Very exciting. We do want to give you, our special government partners, a little sneak peek of a campaign that we are hoping to launch early next week in recognition of Women's History Month. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're also going to talk a little bit more about the possibility for snow and blizzard-like conditions up in the mountains in the Sierra. And so ultimately, we hope you take away from this Zoom not only information and resources that you can put on your own channels to honor women and our key decision makers, but then also to be able to have more information on snow, blizzard-like conditions, high wind, and a reminder of where all of our resources live so that you can help spread the word so that Californians can stay safe. A few little housekeeping things. You're going to hear from a few of our folks, Meredith and Megan, in a little bit, and we're so honored to have them as part of this conversation. But then if you have questions or comments in the meantime, we're going to do our best to respond to those in the Q&A. So don't be afraid to put in your information in the Q&A. Let us know your question, and we're more than happy to answer and try to facilitate also that conversation that way. So let's get started. The next slide, please. Hi, for those who don't know us already, I am Deanna Crofts-Pelayo. I am with the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, specifically in the Crisis Communications Unit. We work on many varied campaigns, not only at OES, but just throughout the state. And so we're really excited to have you all here today. Again, you're going to hear from Maribeth and Megan in a little bit, but you can see a little bit of our agenda. Ultimately, what we want you to know is why we're doing a Listas campaign in honor of Women's History Month. Some of our reasoning behind it, might get a little nerdy with the data, but then also is understanding that it's not only a communications campaign, it's also an outreach campaign, and we'd love for you to also be a part of it. Then at the end, we'll talk about some of those storm resources that I think will be really important for this weekend. Let's go to the next slide. With that, for those who aren't familiar, again, Cal OES, we do a special initiative called Listos California, where we try to do special touches to at-risk communities, disaster risk communities, before, during, and after an emergency. And so it's a special initiative campaign spearheaded from Governor Gavin Newsom with a home here at Cal OES. And so through that, we essentially did research to see, what are the communities, what are the populations that we think could be enticed to actually take action during an emergency or a disaster. We know that there's going to be some folks out there, some Californians that are just not going to leave their house no matter what. They might not evacuate, and they might not trust the government. And so we kind of learned a little bit about those people. But specifically, we learned about folks that we think could be convinced to take any kind of protective action during an emergency. And that's women. Specifically, women decision makers, heads of household, they are the ones that are really inspired, not only their own household, but within their community to make some sort of a decision when it comes to a disaster. But on top of that, they need more information. They'd love to make a decision, but they just want to know exactly what they should do. So Listas is in honor of Women's History Month and really thinking about women in an authentic way, empowering them and providing them emergency resilience knowledge, not only in March, but also through the spring as well. Let's go to the next slide. So there's a few things about this campaign specifically, or this initiative specifically. We want the public to walk away with clear, informational, reliable, and empowering messages specific to disasters. We want to be positive and upbeat, and we get it. Like, we are so overwhelmed with all of the things that are happening in the world. Disasters are not super fun. And so we want to not only communicate that urgency, but have give people a little bit of confidence in in the information that they will receive, that whatever they're doing is going to be the right thing for their family. And we have two goals. The first goal is really to empower women with general emergency preparedness knowledge. We have 5 relatable tips that you have probably seen through our Listos California campaign. Get alerts, make a plan, pack a go bag, pack a stay box, and help friends and family, neighbors get ready as well. The second part of that is really being able to then overlay some very specific disaster tips. So whether you are in a wildfire prone area, a flooding area, if you're going to be getting lots of deep snow this weekend, we want to give you that information so that you can make very specific action when it comes to a very specific emergency. Let's go to the next slide. So during our research, we were able to really look at 2 key audiences. And so this is the first one. So the head of the household, what we would say are the decision makers. These women are probably the ones that bear the weight of so much responsibility. They're probably taking care of their children, elderly parents. They may not speak English as their native language, and they just have a lot going on. And they are one of the groups that we identified through surveys and focus groups that will specifically be able to take action during an emergency if we provide them that life-saving information. These women are part of our BIPOC community: Hispanic, AAPI, Black, ages 18 to 49, possibly in socioeconomically disadvantaged areas. And they are really the leader of their household, that maternal leader with dependents, whether that's little ones or older ones. Let's go to the next slide. And then the second part of the audience is really the messenger. And it's interesting because when we were thinking about launching this campaign and the research that came out, we were all sitting around a table. It was all women, a very wonderful setup, and we all kind of said, "Hey, are you the eldest or the only sister or sibling in your family?" And we all raised our hands. And so we kind of envisioned that as the eldest child, the eldest sister that really provides that support to the family. They're providing the guidance. They probably speak English, and they're just helping their family navigate through life. Again, similar demographics as far as Hispanic, AAPI, Black, but then also under 50. And they may also live or have a background in their family living in socioeconomically disadvantaged areas. Let's go to the next slide. And so thinking about that research, thinking about the audience in mind, we have 2 primary objectives. Is for us to take all of that and be able to give you a comprehensive suite of messaging and social media videos to really inspire your own communities to share these emergency preparedness tips. We want to make it easy for you. If you want to co-brand with us, if you want to create your own videos or graphics too, we want this to be a community-powered effort. And number 2, we want people to walk away with tangible life-saving alerts and being able to take that specific action. And so we are directing them specifically for them to sign up for local emergency alerts. And so many of our government partners are on right now, and we want them to know that we're leading them straight back to you guys so that you have a well-resourced hub, alerting hub, so that if there is an emergency, you know that those lists are complete for you to really help save lives. Let's go to the next slide. So I talked a little bit about that call to action. I think ultimately, what we want folks to know is they can go to our listoscalifornia.org/alerts page, and you will see there all of the counties. There might even be some big cities there too. And we're trying to make it really easy for people to just go back to the local government, so that they can sign up for specific alerts there in their area. Let's go to the next slide. With that, I've talked a lot about the why and intention behind this Listas campaign, but ultimately we had a really awesome partner in Honey that was able to work and actually get a whole suite of these resources, and was able to identify some of those women that we kind of looked at through our research to be partners with us in this campaign. So she is going to talk a little bit more about some of those resources. Megan?
Thank you so much, Deanna. I think it's so important how you shared the research and how you shared this incredible audience of women of the Listas initiative that really can move the needle in disaster preparedness. And we're thrilled today because we're able to share with you some of the new creative for this initiative that we're going to be launching here for Women's History Month. And it's a really rich set of authentic, genuine, and I would say almost humanistic communities that are sharing their real, honest truths about how they are getting prepared here in California. It means so much to me that we've had the honor to work on this project. One thing I will share is that the creative that will be being deployed, and Deanna's going to share a little bit where to find that, is rich with assets. And what we did focus on was a lot of videos. When we look at how we're resonating and how a campaign and initiative really does connect to communities, we needed to think about what are they consuming. And we have videos, we have resources, we have a social toolkit that is really going to be able to be shared and deployed by all our partners across California to connect. And that is the most important thing that we're looking for with Listas, is for women to see themselves in this work. And I'm thrilled today because we can go to the next slide and share that we have Maribeth here. Maribeth has been part of this incredible project. One of the big things to share with you is over the next 60 days, we're going to be releasing over 70 videos. And these videos, as I shared, are of it's as diverse as California. These women come from all across California, all different communities. Some are moms, some are caretakers, some are taking care of elderly parents, and they're sharing their stories about how they're being prepared. So Maribeth, thank you so much for being here. You are one of the first videos that we are launching. And I just wanted you to introduce yourself and share a little bit about why you wanted to do this Listas video campaign.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I'm Mary Beth, and I currently live with my two teenage 82-year-olds. And so it was important for me to get involved, just because not everyone's a single mom with just kids. Like, I think when we get to this age and our parents get older, we find ourselves kind of switching roles. And so when I heard about this initially, I think you guys were just looking for single moms, but I thought it was important for people who are in my position to know that dealing with parents is pretty much the same thing right now, especially at my age and at their ages. Checking on them when I'm at work, making sure the neighbors know that they're home alone just in case so they can reach me. These are all super important things, but also I worry about them traveling, but I never thought of having to worry about them, being in our home, thinking it's safe. I mean, to go bags and stay boxes and all of those things never really came to mind until we started getting involved with this program. And it's funny because after doing all the videos and getting my parents involved, it was my mom who was like, hey, do we have that stuff? Should we maybe get one together? And so if you're in a Filipino household, you have everything in this house, right? During COVID, everybody shopped at my mom's house, but it's the go bag that I didn't have prepared. A lot of those things we can find around the home, but she did make me go on Amazon to get a few of the things that are important that were on that list. So that was nice to see her get a little bit more involved after she was doing the videos with me. My dad as well.
And I love, we've had a few conversations this week, and one of the things that, really resonated with me, and I think all of us, was the fact that, we are the first phone call sometimes from our parents, from our brothers, from our sisters. And I love how you shared you're one of four, correct?
Yes.
But you are the only
youngest
female, the youngest female.
Yes, I'm the youngest female in a Filipino background family, which in my opinion makes me the oldest. So I am the one that everybody calls, what are we doing for this? What are we doing about mom and dad? Are you going to be in town this weekend? Those are all phone calls that come to me, not my oldest brother.
Feeling.
Not the oldest sister-in-law. That's me. And so that was also very important for me to kind of share with them. Like I was thinking, even for Mother's Day, I would do go bags for all of my sister's households so that they all had something.
I think that's so powerful. And as Deanna said, those are the messengers. So this Listas is about connecting with those messengers, so that when you're sitting at the dinner table, which you'll see in the video in a moment, you can actually talk to those folks at the dinner table and say, wait a second, are we actually prepared? How are we going to make sure our home and our community is prepared? And I think that's an amazing moment. And I'm excited to share your video right now with everybody on this Zoom.
Yay, let's see it. Oh my gosh, did you feel that? Mom, Dad, it was an earthquake. Did you feel it? Pick up the phone. I'm not here. Pretend I'm not here and pick up the phone and call me at work. Do you know my number?
No.
If there's an emergency, what are you gonna do?
Auntie Linda.
Okay, but Mom, Auntie Linda lives down the street. How's she gonna help you if she's injured? Yeah.
Contact sheet.
Oh, contact sheet is a good idea.
And exactly as that authentically shared over a meal, it was the moment where that contact sheet came to life. So this moment and what you shared is a tip that I think so many people are going to be able to resonate with. So anything else you want to share, Maribeth?
No, I mean, when in that specific example, it's funny because nowadays we rely so much on our mobile phones and what's electronically in front of us to get numbers, that if we lose all of that stuff, how important it is to still stay kind of old school and have something printed out. So after that, we do now have a very large, super font contact sheet on the refrigerator for my parents to use. So luckily we haven't had to use it yet. So that's a good thing.
Well, your parents are simply amazing, and I can tell you the production team loved lumpia that was shared. So it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And thank you again for being part of Listas. And we are so honored that you are some of the first videos that will be shared this week. So thank you, Maribeth. And again,
thanks for having me.
You bet. And the creative too, just to note, you're going to see a little bit of a change of tune in terms of the way we're talking and resonating through social content. We, through research, have realized that the way we deploy and have content resonate, it needs to feel like everything else that's being consumed. So that's why you hear music. That's why you're going to see a lot more of sort of, I would say reel style, REEL, videos. And again, those will be coming over the next 60 days, but the first videos have been shared on that social toolkit, which we'll talk about in a few moments. There are social assets on the social toolkit that are Spanish language. And we're really thrilled that you'll be able to deploy those as well. A little bit of another exciting piece of this campaign is we have some fantastic political champions. Not only did we ask women in our community to be part of this, but we actually asked some of the most incredible women in our political landscape. And we have over 6 videos that have already launched from political champions who shared how they're getting prepared, or the tips that they're sharing with their families, within their communities. And I'd love to share Assemblymember Stephanie Nunes with you.
Hey everybody, here are 5 important tips to stay safe. Tip number 5, think about people who need extra help. It could be your neighbor, someone with pets, or someone who needs help getting around. Tip number 4, get your home ready in case you need to hunker down. That means getting water for drinking and washing and food that will not spoil. Tip number 3, think about the essentials. Batteries, flashlight, first aid kit, and any important medicine. Keep those all in one place in case you need to leave quickly. Tip number 2, make sure you have a plan to connect with your loved one. That means having a number to call or even finding a location or a place to all meet. Finally, the most important tip. Tip number 1, sign up for alerts. The link's in the bio. It's fast, easy, and it could save a life. Remember, disasters don't wait.
Huge thank you to the women who have brought these political champion videos to the Listas initiative. You know, I think Deanna said it beautifully. These are life-saving alerts. These are life-saving tips. And everyone who's participated are truly, they're truly feeling that connection to the impact that these can have. So with that said, I'm going to have Deanna share a little bit more about the social press kit that is deploying and a lot of things that will be coming in the next few days.
Thanks so much, Megan. Thanks so much, Mary Beth, as well, for the conversation. Now to get to the nitty gritty a little bit is, you know, essentially a social toolkit for everyone. And so we talked a little bit about how we want to not only give information on disasters generally, but then also give specific information on specific disasters. And so you can see here a little bit from examples from our social toolkit. You can go to our resource hub at listoscalifornia.org, and you can see here that we have a myriad of images as well. And really, this is a campaign for you all. So if videos do better on your platforms, please use them. If graphics do better on your platforms, please use them. I also think the images are just flat out beautiful. I have a number of them behind decorating my office. But we really, again, want to show that, you know, empowerment, resiliency, just women-focused campaign through social media graphics. The awesome thing about this is that this is a social toolkit. We don't just give you the graphic, we give you the alt text, and we also give you suggested copy that you can put in. And so we're trying to make it as easy for you as possible. Let's go to the next slide. We also have a new web page. So you will probably see on our listoscalifornia.org site, we have a special initiatives tab that talks about you know, the key things, that campaigns that we're working on, or the special initiatives we're working on. And so Listas is one of those. And so we're really excited to have that on our website. If you can't, you know, find the resources through the resource hub, just go to the main page. You'll see it under special initiatives and just click on it. And that's going to be the clearinghouse where you're going to see all of the information, the videos, the social toolkit, and just a little bit more about this campaign. I do want to remind you all that we, you know, after this briefing, that we are going to be sending out basically a package where you can find everything. We'll send you the PowerPoint. We'll have, you know, the recording up, all of that. So it'll be a nice comprehensive kit for you. Let's go to the next slide. So we talked a little bit about some of those, you know, lovely images. They're beautiful. They are pieces of art. The videos are just super impactful from, you know, real California women. But at the end of the day, too, we want to walk the walk and talk the talk. And this is not just, you know, a glitz and glamour campaign, but we also want it to be a partner-led initiative where we are doing peer-to-peer phone banking for right now in Los Angeles. And so this is a phone banking pilot that we have taken in through communities, through counties throughout California. Last year, We did it in 11 counties that were specifically flood prone after high temperatures and a deep snowpack were going to impact our areas. And so that resulted in millions of phone calls, 50,000 meaningful conversations, and even more signups to local emergency alerting systems. And so at the end of the day, we want folks to go back to you, our subject matter experts, those who are going to be giving the life-saving information on the ground. So this initiative will be calling about 400,000 women in Los Angeles area, those key decision makers in the household, where we're going to be talking to them not only about disaster preparedness in general, maybe a little bit about the Listas campaign, but ultimately we are going to help them go to your sites and sign up for local emergency alerts. So we want this to be a comprehensive campaign, not only communications, but also a good on the ground effort as well. Taking it back to a, old school, voting kind of effort. So let's go to the next slide. And then finally, I did mention a little bit about our snowpack, some of the impacts that we're seeing in the mountains this weekend specifically. It's already raining here in Sacramento. I know the further north has probably been experiencing it since yesterday, but we are going to be having some significant weather impacts in the Sierras. I think that it'll go all the way down to Mammoth, according to National Weather Service, a little bit in Big Bear, but the biggest brunt of it will be in the Sierras and the Tahoe region. And so these are going to be many feet of snow, high winds, very poor visibility. So we want Californians to stay safe. Now, I think for those who are in the mountains, they're used to this. This is storm season, and they will, always be ready for snow-like weather. But it's really those visitors, the people that are traveling up for the weekend to enjoy skiing or snowboarding. This is a really dangerous time. And so this is a reminder that we also have resources through our resource hub at listoscalifornia.org that is specific to deep snow, to driving safely during storm season, high winds, power outages. And so getting some of those messages out now, we think will help save lives, specifically this weekend. And so it's really up to you all. You can use the information from our Listas launch to get the word out, especially in advance of Women's History Month in March. But also we have resources that are specific to any kind of derivative emergency. So do not forget that there is that important resource. It's going to be very dangerous this weekend. We want folks to stay safe. And with that, I'm going to remind people that if they have any questions in the Q&A, please send them over. We want to answer any questions. If there's we want to have a conversation with you a little bit. If you are just so in awe of all the lovely things, that is totally okay too. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this people-powered initiative, specifically Listas California, or just help us spread the word in regards to disasters and emergencies, we have actually some instructions on how you can film some selfie style videos and really help be part of this community driven, community powered campaign. So if you're seeing something that's missing, let us know. But then also maybe the missing element is you. And so we want you to be a part of this effort with us. If you have some trusted messengers in your community, if you have local elected officials, state department directors, state agency directors that would really benefit from getting the information out there, we want you to be a part of it, and we want to help amplify that as well. So with that, I'm going to see if there's any other questions in the chat. I know that we've gotten a few privately. And so I will say, number one, we are so proud to be multilingual and specifically have some Spanish, some Spanglish, and some other languages as well. I'm forgetting them off the top of my head. Our phone bankers that are going to be doing some efforts locally are also going to be speaking at least 5 different languages to, California women as well. So that's going to be very diverse, and we're very honored and privileged for that. And then I'm trying to think if there was anything else. If you guys have any other thoughts, shoot us an email at hello@listoscalifornia.org. For our local or state government partners, you might know us best through Cal OES. We're also happy to take any of your questions or comments with our media email, which is media@caloes.ca.gov. Megan, Maribeth, is there anything else, before we wrap that, you'd like to share with the rest of the team?
No, there's just one thing I would say is that this is about extending our reach as well. So Listas is going to be seen in areas that we haven't actually extended reach to, like Pinterest, like YouTube. And we really do hope we're connecting and meeting folks where they might be able to really truly resonate with this incredible content that Maribeth was part of. So I just wanted to say that because I missed it. And Maribeth, I will send it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely grateful that I was able and chosen to be part of this project. It means a lot to me. It definitely had a positive effect and a change in what my parents do when they're at home and how they think of things. Usually when I tell my parents, you can't do that, you shouldn't do this, please don't do that, she like sticks her tongue out at me. But now she's like, oh, I get it. I get why. So it's super important to have this. I'm super excited to share all the videos when they come up, not just mine, but everybody else's. And super serious about putting together go bags for all my sisters for Mother's Day. I think everybody should do it. I think that's a great Mother's Day gift, especially in celebration of Women's Month, would be great to do. So thank you for having me. I'm really excited to see this whole project launched.
Thank you so much, Maribeth. Thank you so much, Megan. That is such a great flag. I mean, like, what is a better gift to give to, to your mom or the female woman leader in your community, is, the gift of preparedness. So that's such a great flag. I have Teresa who just sent a message to you, specifically Maribeth, about how she really related to your story. She's one of 8 in a family of 9 children and the youngest woman. Everyone calls her, and yes, we took care of our parents until they passed. My mom's family were migrant farm workers when she was growing up, and thanks for including us, those that also have parents that they have to take care of. There was another question too, maybe about wildfires and air pollution. It's really interesting too, because we do have some really great information on wildfires and air quality. We know that that's coming, that's just right around the corner. It's raining outside my window right now, but wildfire season again is going to hit us very soon. So it's one of the big concerns we have. So go to our resource hub, you will see all that information as well. Seeing here some folks saying that they'll be doing videos at our CERT Skills Day with several testimonials. We'd like to connect. All of that stuff. Dina, we would love to connect with you as well. So don't hesitate to send us an email. I will repeat it again. It's hello@listoscalifornia.org, or you can also send it to our media email, media@caloes.ca.gov. With that, I really appreciate everyone's time. Thank you again. Can I have folks maybe before we wrap respond to Jocelyn and Dina with their emails, because I don't want them to leave without our information typed in there. So with that, I appreciate everyone's time again. We really look forward to this initiative, and we are so thankful for Megan and Maribeth for helping us, allowing us to be in your home. Maribeth, I can't wait until that video of you giving the lumpia to your little dog comes out too. I'm just saying, there's lots of sneak peeks in there.
Wait,
and
Winnie made it too, huh? She's going to be so excited.
Heck yeah. So anyways, thank you all so much, and we hope to chat with you soon. Bye-bye.